the road and the future of life. From viral trends to policy shifts, we cut through the traffic to bring you the stories that drive us. Your fast track guide to everything on the move starts right now. From Billionaire News Channel to Mellow 947 BFM, I'm Gie Barroga, and this is Shift Happens. From track days to car meets, Philippine car culture and motorsports continue to evolve, driven by a growing community and new trends shaping their future. Today we go trackside at what's fueling the industry with race car driver, automotive enthusiast, and entrepreneur Angie Mead King. Hi Angie, thank you so much for joining Shift Happens and inviting us here at Clark International Speedway.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for braving the rain and traffic to get here on a Sunday and join us for the Unity Car Meet, our first ever car meet.
Yeah. So Angie, a lot of people know you in the automotive culture, but aside from that, ang dami mo pang ginagawa. You're in hospitality industry.
I do farming.
Into farming,
diba?
yes. But
vlogger.
yeah. But today we will talk more about
Yes.
motorsports and automotive.
Yes.
And since you're very well known already, not a lot of people know how you started.
Okay, short story. I was a very bad driver on the road. I got into multiple accidents. And this last accident before I decided to take my motorsport seriously, I crashed a very rare car. It's a manual S14 and I hit the curb and damaged a lot of the car. And I realized now, I'm such a bad driver. I need to take it seriously. Back then I already tried mga motorsport circuit races. They call it run what you brung, very amateur. You bring your car, you join, and then you can go home in your car also, not a race car. And I was learning from that. But when I crashed that nice car, I decided na I need to go into drifting, autocross, because car control is about learning how to pitch the angle of the car and saving it when it's about to spin out. And it's like, okay, I did that for a good, 4 or 5 years of my life. So I competed, I organized events, and that's what made me an overall better driver. And then after that, I sort of missed the circuit life again. So I went back into motorsports. I competed internationally with Ferrari Challenge. I did 1 year Asia Pacific, 1 year in the US. And then when I had a bad crash in Monza, and that was the big timeout, like, what am I doing? Is this right for me? Diba? And then I stopped like competitive racing for a few years. I thought retired na. During the pandemic, I got a call from a friend, Windy Imperial, and he was like, Ange, I am going to join the BRC endurance race in Amiata. Do you want to try and drive? I was like, I'm retired na, no more, I'm good.
You're having second thoughts.
But he was like, come lang, test the car. So I made my way down, di ba? Nakamask pa kami lahat. Tested the car, I'm like, wow, masaya. So from there, I joined the race, and then since 2022 till today, we're still campaigning for Mazda. Last year, we won the whole endurance series in Armiata. We beat all the other endurance racers. So I'm now still racing, and I decided that I wanted to focus on local motorsports because, diba, going abroad is expensive and takes so much time. But also, staying local helps develop everyone else. I get faster, people see that I can get faster, they push, and vice versa.
You've mentioned about being a bad driver in the past,
God, yeah.
And now LTO is here with you, supporting you in this event that you are organizing. How does it feel to be from that bad driver to now being maybe an advocate, a supporter of road safety and driver behavior?
Well, it's very flattering. I can't say I have a perfect record, but I do try to promote racetrack driving. We try to encourage newbie people to learn the limits of their car here. Because, I've experienced it, right? When I was young, I was gregarious and I wanted to show off, and the bad things happen. So we really have to be safe because for me, cars are not just an extension of myself, but it's the freedom it's the ability for me to decide, where am I going today? What am I listening to? Like, it's for me, it's a Zen capsule where when I travel, I love the feeling of just driving and going somewhere and doing the adventure.
Yeah, but apart from this initiative that you are doing, you are also a philanthropist to automotive students.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, in the past, well, we've been talking in the past
Yes.
about your journey also when it comes to helping automotive students. Tell us, how long have you been doing that, and
Oh,
what's the fulfillment like?
that was recently, right? Through the Sports Cars for a
Yeah.
Cause, we raised money for the Sisters of Mary, and we basically give them money to pay for tuition, travel expense. Some of the students who are the top caliber get selected to go to Porsche AG, and they're intern there. They're trained and they're housed for like 2 years before some of them get sent back and some of them get deployed. So it was a passion project. Tito Charlie Rufino brought me on board, and I wanted to help out.
Going back to some of your cars, because we all know we have like a collection of cars, rare supercars and hypercars in the country. And you've mentioned, well, in the past, I think in 2024, you figured in an accident, a fire accident with your Acura
Okay.
NSS,
Yes.
and you were able to bring it back from ashes. What happened during the fire, and how did you do that?
Okay, so first off, that was super traumatizing. I picked up the car a day before the fire, just released from the car shop, and they were like, "Oh, you need to break it in because we rebuilt the engine," and it was the testing phase. So literally within 24 hours, the car caught fire. I was coming back from SLEX and headed to meet a client to talk about his RWB project.
Yeah.
And literally, a van passed me honking, going like this. And I looked in my mirror and I could see smoke already. So obviously I didn't want to stop on the fast lane. I moved to the shoulder, and by the time I got to the shoulder, I could see the smoke billowing already. I opened the trunk because I was trying to get my computer. I had an OBD scanner, which is a scanner used to clear the codes for the car. It was in the trunk, and that was expensive. I lost that also. And then, yeah, I just had to sit there and watch the car burn. And it was sad because I'd spent a year probably collecting parts from all around the world to put the car together, and just the waiting game, obviously the money involved, and it was sad. It was a sad day. But through the network that I have, through some friends and partners and sponsors, a few people pitched money and sponsorship and parts to try to get the car running again. So we actually shipped the car out to California, and they're rebuilding it there. So the chassis is now rolling again, and we now have parts from all around the world. I have parts from Australia, parts from Taiwan, parts from China, parts from Japan. So people are coming together and literally like making sure that my story doesn't end there. And that's the great part about the car community. It's like no matter how big or small, there's people out there that are willing to help you for the problem. And it's evident because when this car comes back, it's going to be crazy. And hopefully by 2027, it will be back here. Yeah,
Thank
we're
you
excited.
Thank you for sharing that. And I didn't know that it's like a sad story for you, but thank you for sharing and being open about it. So, mentioning about the car community in the Philippines, how did you see it evolve throughout the years?
Very interesting. So after the pandemic, there are more kids interested in the automotive scene, and you've seen it in Sports Cars for a Cause. You've seen it in the auto complex with the Max Rito, also with today's event, where the kids are the ones who know the car. The parents might not catch up anymore. They're like, oh, that's a ganyan, and that's like this, and they know who the drivers are, they know the story. So the generational shift, they say the automotive scene was dying because of all the electric cars and some people are just wanting to commute na lang, but some kids are like obsessed, and I love it. I've seen, as young as 6, 7 years old, come up to me and they're like, ask for a photo, ask them, what's your favorite car? They're like, Ferrari. I'm like, I didn't even know Ferrari at 6 years old, but they know the word, right? They know GT3 RS. And I'm like, amazing. So I think the shift has been growing. It has been evolving into a younger scene. And even here in the racetrack, where before, you have a few great teams, now there's multiple teams vying for the fastest time here at the racetrack. I used to own it for about 4 years, and then this year I got dethroned. So I told them, I was like, I'm coming.
Planning again.
Yeah, so that's why I've been here since Wednesday. We're testing, and I want to take it back. I want to be the fastest person around Clark Speedway.
But what's your record here at Clark?
Before, I did a 153.3, and it got beaten recently by Mikey Jordan, 152. So a second and a bit. So I think it's possible I can beat it. It's just a matter of time. So
yeah, so at the Unity Track Day event, you've mentioned about electric vehicles, electrification, and all of that. We have electric companies, electric car companies.
Yes,
Here
BYD, Zeekr.
Yeah.
I don't know all the car brands of electric, but I had dinner with BYD last night, right? And I told them, I'm like, I'm not your market. Like,
yeah, I think you've mentioned about not promoting China made cars. So
I know.
Does that change now?
Well, EVs are cleaner on the tailpipe, but the production of EVs are still questionable. If you charge using the outlet, you're still using coal, and the Philippines has an energy crisis already to begin with. So all our power plants are at max capacity, and having a ton of EVs load from the grid, I don't know if it's a good idea. But last night our conversation turned around to, how can you use the EV as a power bank? And I told him, I'm only considering an EV if I can use it as a backup power bank for my farm, so that when the lights go out and the generator is not working, I can plug to the EV. And they said it's possible. And it's like, that's the only time I would consider an EV. But beyond that, like, oh.
But what are your thoughts about EVs, which are very quiet, running inside the track along with all the supercars that we have here?
EVs are fast. They got mountains of torque. They're very fast. But the problem is they're very heavy. And in the age of technology, all the new cars are always getting bigger and heavier. And for motorsports, that's the complete opposite way of where you want to go. You want lightweight, you want nimble, and EVs are counterproductive to that. So for my preferential style of driving, I prefer the older cars because they're smaller. I can fix it. I don't need a computer to fix it. So EVs obviously are here to stay. A lot of EVs are faster already than supercars or even hypercars for a fraction of the price. But for me, it's still not the only reason why I get into cars and why I like the sound, I like the vibration, and I like to be involved in the driving. I don't like the car to drive for me. So it's still not where I want to see the car market go. But I understand the need for it for commuters who, they just want a low maintenance, reliable car, gets good mileage, very comfortable. EVs are perfect for inner city work, right? If you're sitting in traffic all day, then the EVs make sense because they're super quiet. They're very okay, sometimes you just fall asleep because it's too quiet. But I drive myself a lot around. I'm usually alone, and for me, sports car or nothing.
So what do you think about EVs joining motorsports? But before you answer that, we'll take a short break. This is Shift Happens on Billionaire News Channel and Mellow 947 BFM.
Looking for the perfect escape? Discover Club Nalu, a serene beachfront retreat where stillness meets style. Nestled along the quiet shores of Bacnotan in La Union, Club Nalu is designed for slow mornings, ocean breezes, and moments that help you unwind. From cozy rooms and sun-drenched villas to relaxing spaces inspired by nature. Every corner invites you to pause, breathe, and recharge. Club Nalu, come as you are and leave feeling a little lighter. Book now at clubnalu.ph.
And we're back. This is Shift Happens on Billionaire News Channel and Mellow 947 BFM. Do you think there is also a future for electrified vehicles in terms of motorsports?
Ooh, yeah, I don't know. The big problem with esports is the faster you go, the more energy you consume. So, BYD was explaining to me, I had sort of like an antithesis brain of like, but what about, so I asked them about their battery life, how old the oldest car is, what's the highest mileage car, because I want to know. Not because I'm picking on them, but I want to know, curiosity, right? Where's the technology at already and where's it headed? So I was actually quite impressed with their battery figure numbers and their life cycles. And, I think once they perfect like the fast charging, where they're explaining with their AC mobility, they can get 70% in 45 minutes. And I was like, it's actually pretty quick. Yeah. So I think once they solve that, plus I'm sure in the future battery technology will get lighter, and then it could be viable for motorsports. But right, even there's a rumor that Formula One might go back to the bigger engine for next year because of the sound. Right? The sound is in the era where people are watching V10, V12 Formula One and the V8, it's different. Even if you don't see it and you just close your eyes, you're happy. But the only downside with the e-cars is it has artificial sound. So it's kind of weird. It's not authentic.
Yeah. Pero ikaw, Angie, you're still very much active in the racing scene. Like, you just raced.
Yes.
And you took home a podium.
Double third.
Yeah.
Yesterday we had the Mazda Fan Fest. It's the first race of the year. Because of the fuel crisis in the first part, everything was canceled. And then yesterday was her first time to race. So this whole week was my, Wednesday was my first day out of the whole year. And then I did Thursday, which is like half day because it rained. And then Friday took a break. Saturday we went racing. In my category, I'm the oldest one. And I'm still able to crawl to third place. So it's a lot of work. And a lot of the younger generation who are behind me, they're actually just right there. And long ago I'd happily just walk away, but now I actually have to work. I have to work. We're relearning the car because it has upgrades, and I was just like, wow, this is now a challenge, and it keeps me on my toes, right? Because I need to have the endurance, and then my skill level needs to be upgraded. So yes, very active with the MSCC Spec Miata race, and I'm happy to be part of that because it's the cheapest budget sports car that can go on track.
Yeah, but much of what you do are more on circuit racing and endurance racing.
Yes.
But do you still practice other motorsports disciplines?
Yeah. So for competition, it's definitely the endurance series locally, and then the MSCC Spec race. On my downside, I do a lot of drifting, but I don't compete anymore. I attend the events. I'll be part of the practice warm-up session, and then I leave when the event happens. I fly to New Zealand to go drifting with a few friends also, and we just have fun. I'm turning 47 this year, and for me, I have nothing to prove. I just want to enjoy. So I don't like waiting. It's actually the waiting that makes me more anxious. I just want to go, right? Get in, go, have fun, have a laugh, and then call it a day.
Do you consider this as your pastime, especially building cars?
For me, it's really everything I learned in the race, off the racetrack, online, and while we're building cars. I get to exercise the idea here. So the idea in the car shop is if we do this, the car should go faster. This is the proving ground. So it's basically closing the formula and seeing that this makes sense.
Having said that, what was your best build?
Oh, well, locally right now it's the Endurance Miata because that Endurance Miata started as a spec car. And when I brought the idea to Stephen saying like, if we win third or we win first, it's the same effort. We're here already, the team's here already, we're spending money, we spend a little more, we can gun for first. So in the Endurance series, winning first in your category is fun, but winning first overall is a different story.
Yeah.
Because whatever happens, you led the whole race, whether it's the 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours. Be first overall is a different flex,
Yeah.
right? It shows team strategy, car reliability, speed, and then driver performance. It's all rolled into one. It's a group effort, and ever since we did that and we started winning, Steven actually entrusted it to me to make the car perform. So in the Mazda team, they call me the engineer. I am in charge of dreaming and thinking about how can we make this car go faster. And in a way, it's us showing the local market that, we can do this on our own locally. Yes, I learn online and I have contacts in Japan. Mazda is very kind to share their data. So we try to see where can we learn and input with our car here. So I would say that's my most exciting car.
We had a couple of other motorsports enthusiasts on the show, and they said that one thing that's lacking in the motorsports community right now is support.
Yes.
And what do you think about that, and how do you think that would be solved?
Well, when you're playing the eyeballs game for sponsors, right? The motorsport scene doesn't have enough media coverage. There's not enough personalities. There's not enough stories around. Put it this way: you watch Drive to Survive. It's not an F1 show. It's now a personality show. They show the clash between the sponsor and the driver. They show, right? The race highlights are so short, but the stories around what's happening behind the scenes in Formula One, that's what got people hooked. And that's what we need. We need media like yourself to actually cover drivers, up and coming drivers, what are the challenges. I met one kid who's he was in school Friday night and he drove up Saturday morning just to go racing. And he was like, something's wrong with my car. I haven't had time to figure it out because I was in school. And I was like, that's amazing. Someone should know about this.
Yeah.
And we have another driver who used to join the series. He's trying to lose weight. So for him, it's a journey of getting better through physical fitness so that he can be a top driver. So, right, there's interesting stories where people can relate and, follow a career of someone so that they can see that's incentive for me to improve because he did it. Why can't I do it? So I think with more media coverage and more big events like this, hopefully, we can shine a light onto this scene. And, it's sad because it's seen as more of a needs than more of a wants and not a need. And, it has changed because I tell people this is my last vice. I do so many good things and I can't let this go because it's what drives me to wake up and get out of bed, right? So for me, I do the farming, I do the bamboo farming so I can recover carbon. And I was just don't take away racing. Racing for me is my ultimate adrenaline rush. And when I'm going 250 down here, everything slows down. It's a weird statement, but I feel no problems are there. It's just focusing on a singular task of going as fast as possible.
So Angie, before we end, what are your thoughts about rare supercar sightings in the Philippines?
Wow, are you talking about the Koenigsegg?
Yes, it was all over social media, and
Yes.
then I think right now at the Ferrari showroom, the Daytona was also in showcase
Wow.
right now.
Yeah, so SP3. Wow, you're
Yeah.
fast. You know, weirdly enough, Manila has a lot of rare cars. It's just that, you know, some collectors don't like sharing what they have. And I love it. I love it, but you know, for me, the car community is about sharing, right? During the event, we open our cars so kids can sit down and see it, smell it, visualize it, because it's part of the motivation. It's part of encouraging the people to get involved. And if you buy these rare exotic cars and then just keep them in the basement, I don't know. I don't think that's helping the community in any way. It's helping, you know, the collector, yeah, but for the community to grow, right, you should bring the car up. You should show it off, parade it, and have people appreciate it.
Now, Angie, I have a couple of questions that need quick answers. You've witnessed Philippine car culture evolve over the years. What change has surprised you the most?
More females in the industry.
That's a good one. If you could influence one policy or initiative to improve mobility in the country, what would that be?
Oh my God. Everyone should actually enroll in a race program because it will improve the efficiency of staying in your lane, accelerating from a green light, and then like just how safe people would be if actually people knew the racing protocols over just the basic protocols.
Okay. What do you hope the next generation of Filipinos value more? Speed, tech, or responsibility?
I'd say two things, right? Responsibility and speed, definitely.
With social media making car culture more visible than ever, do you think enthusiasts are building cars for the driving experience or for the algorithm?
I don't think you can avoid that. Some people build it for clout, but you know, there's others who are still passionate about the driving.
Okay, of the cars you have, which one will you not let go of?
Oh my God. The one I inherited from my dad, it was a McLaren 12C. It's actually not running, it's a project car. We decided to tear it up, but I inherited from my dad when he passed away. So that one, you know, if I have to sell everything, that will stay, even if it's just a museum piece.
Yeah. Again, everyone knows her. She is Angie Mead King. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
joining
much.
us on Shift Happens.
No, thank you. Awesome interview.
And that concludes our roundup of the stories driving the industry forward. From the Clark International Speedway, I'm Gie Barroga. Join us again on Shift Happens, your fast track guide to everything on the move. Keep it here on the Billionaire News Channel and Mellow 947 BFM.